You are now entering the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. We in the building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Found out I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. Good morning, good morning. This is Thick Goddess Morning Show. I'm your host, Divine Moon Goddess. I'm not sure if my co-host will be here this morning, so it may just be me chilling and vibing with you guys this morning, bringing you some real last topics. I feel like it's been so long since I've been live on the morning show, maybe because of the long weekend that we just came out of. Good morning, Crystal. If you guys have noticed, we had the full moon in Gemini. Now, for me, the full moon in Gemini has not been the best energy. I've been struggling with the full moon in Gemini. And I even am a little congested this morning, just waking up with the shenanigans from this weekend. So it's kind of just like, I'm so over it. I'm so over it. And then we had the Venus in retrograde. And so the Venus in retrograde energy, it's hitting me on so many levels that I was not prepared for. So causing some towers in my mind. Good morning, happy Tuesday, Sasha. So, just one of those things, you guys, we never really kind of see how these energies are kind of hitting us. And I will tell you that just if you feel like mentally you're strained or mentally you're kind of going through it, just know that these energies will be passing by. Well, at least the full moon energy in a couple days will be kind of easing up on us, right? Where not the retrograde. The Venus retrograde actually will be in retrograde until January. So everything relationship wise is really being tested in a way to make us see things for what it is. When we strip away our facade of beauty and connection and looking at things with these beautiful lenses, all we have is the reality to things. So right now, all our relationships are kind of being shown to us. Neha, hey boo, you definitely can have a reading. Information is pinned at the bottom of where to donate, and I do it towards the end of the show. So this morning, I wanted to talk about the topic for this morning. I wanted to talk about was living in gratitude, and one of the things that I wanted to bring up is because I see a lot of people who will, you see it all over on TikTok and on Instagram and Facebook, and, people are recording their gratitude. They're recording their charity. It's one thing where the news maybe comes and does, a segment on you from all the good work that you're doing. There's another when you are literally recording what you're doing to show the world I'm a good person, right? Good morning, Shondell. Good morning, Lucinda. Huge difference in the intention. Now, remember, we have to live with intention. And when you live with intention, you're doing good deeds, not because you want the world to know, not because you're keeping track in that way, because your intentions are to always do something good for someone every day. That's living in gratitude. You're gracious for what you have. You're gracious for your life. And when you see an opportunity to give back, you give back. And hopefully you're able to do this on a daily basis. The biggest thing is, Spirit will kind of show you that the more you give, the more you get. Not giving in a way where you're exhausting your resources, though. Okay. There's two very different ways of giving. There's a way of that you are good and you are helping out, and then there's a way of you're overly giving and overly doing where you're exhausting everything that you have. So you do need to be careful with that and kind of have that understanding of where you're at in your life and if you can even help someone. Because sometimes I think we're trying to help people when we really can't, and then we kind of fuck ourselves at the end of the day, right? And then we're stuck like, why did I do that? I really didn't have the money. So Spirit is always kind of showing us to have that balance in our life. Now, I feel like if you want to go on a spree of helping people, I just think it's shitty to have the camera in someone's face to record your good deeds. Personally, I just think that's really shitty energy, and I feel like the intentions are all wrong. You're not going to get good karma from that. I feel like because it's this show, you know. So leave a comment and let me know, do you feel like you're giving enough every day? And I mean, this doesn't mean you have to be like giving money every day or buying people shit every day. But during your day, do you stop and hold the door open for the person behind you, or do you just let it slam in their face? You know, do you, when you're coming up to that four-way stop, do you tell somebody to go, or are you always in a rush to go first? Um, when you're making that right turn in your car, are you allowing the pedestrians to go, or are you going real quick before the pedestrians because you don't want to wait? There are all these little things that we do during the day where we can start to change the way we do things to where we are taking that moment to just say, no, you go ahead. You know, are we letting someone go in front of us in the line of the grocery store, even though we may be in a rush, right? Are we paying for the person behind us in their, Starbucks or McDonald's or wherever we're at? Are we, paying for someone? And I'm not saying you got to do this shit every day, because who has money to just be buying everybody's fucking meals? But every now and then, I can tell you there was one time that I did it, and this was a while ago, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something nice today. And I was like, watch the person behind me have this like 20 something dollar order, because I just knew it. I felt it. Sure enough, I was like, you know what? Let me pay for the person behind me. And they were like, you sure? It's about 20, it was like $24 and something cents. And I just started cracking up, and I was just like, yeah, I already knew. I already knew it was going to be like that. So I'm just like, yeah, I got it. Because my order was like this little $5 order. So I thought it was hilarious, that, the day I decided to be nice, because when I had to think about it, I had to think about a lot of times of damn, am I nice throughout my day, or am I just a taker? There's takers and there's givers in life. And about a year ago, I had to start thinking about that. Like, am I being nice in my day? Am I going out my way to do something nice for someone, to make someone's day? The simple thing of giving a stranger a compliment is everything. Sometimes it's just looking at a stranger and smiling and changing the energy, which that smile then changes their whole day, right? You guys don't know how far a smile can go, how that can make someone feel inside of just getting a smile from someone and a hello from someone. Hey, Daniel. If you are donating for a reading, let me know. But I will do the readings at the end of the show. Right, right, right. Making this changes. Because I think, when people think about giving, a lot of people think about money. Everyone thinks doing something nice is money driven, and it's not. Yes, money can help people. Yes, it's great if you have it. But if you don't have money, there's tons of things that you can do in your day to live in gratitude. Good morning, Amber. And so that's some of the things that I want to bring this morning, is just remembering that sometimes we're always in the hustle and bustle of our lives. And a lot of times people are like, I'm giving, I'm nice, I'm loving. And then it's like, well, no, you kind of just think about you and your family. And if you really stop and think, sometimes we're very selfish in that way, where all we think about is us. All we think about is our family. We don't ever think about the strangers. And so it's getting out of just thinking about your immediate circle. It's getting out of the thoughts of thinking of just who you're connected to. It's going out of that and doing something, right? Exactly, Shondell. Sometimes just that inspirational message that you feel called to say, right? In this moment, you don't even know how big and huge it is for the person receiving the message. So when we're going through our day to days, now I'm not going to say every day we can be peppy and inspirational and shit, because sometimes the day is just like, today I'm having a day, right? And you are more than entitled to have your day. But I will say this, to try and do things with where you are the one bringing the positive energy, where you are the one changing the vibe. You are the one bringing those inspirational quotes. Even somebody is with the Jesus quotes and you're like, oh, but sometimes tell me it doesn't hit. And it's just like, you know what? I was feeling that today. So sometimes you just got to be like, man, so living in gratitude is changing the way we operate outside, even inside. Good morning goes a long way, even to your family. If when you wake up, the first thing you do is bitch and complain, there's no good morning, there's no hi, it changes the energy. But when you have the good morning, kind of energy, it's like, oh, this bright, and it just gives a whole different feel, right? Good morning, Betty. So I feel like if we're understanding what gratitude means, it's not just money. It's not just taking that camera and going to give bums money. It's not just going helping out the needy. It's not always showing what you do also. I feel like, remember, everything is intention in this life. We can bullshit people, but we can't bullshit spirit. Okay. What I mean by that is you can sit and act like you're doing shit with good intentions, but spirit sees all and spirit feels all. So spirit knows your intentions are not nice. Okay. Spirit knows your intentions are out of trying to get the kudos behind it. So you're not getting any cool points. Okay. So make sure that the intention is real. You're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing it just because, not because you're like, no, I need some good karma. Like, nope, nope. I need some good karma today. So who am I going to help today? Don't do it like that. Get into the rotation of just being that person to bring the positivity, being that person to bring the joy, being that person to make somebody's day. When I used to go to work, and I do miss going to work sometimes. Sometimes I'm not going to say all the time. Sometimes, but one of the things I will tell you is that I do miss taking flowers to work. Good morning, Jesse. I used to work with a bunch of women, and every now and then I would just buy a bunch of flowers, roses, or whatever flower, and I would take it and put it on all their desk and say, "You're beautiful." You know, I just loved that energy to be like, "You're beautiful. Here goes a flower." you know, I think, like I said, it doesn't take a lot of money sometimes. Sometimes you can get these bouquets at Walmart, Publix, whatever store you have around you for about $10, you know, for about 11, 12 roses or flowers. I think you just have to think outside the box of, what you're doing. And I think the good mornings are everything in the morning, whether you're going to school, whether you're going to work. Um, I think just saying good morning, you don't even have to buy shit, just good morning, is everything to someone who's struggling. You don't know what someone's going through in their life. This person could have went through hell to get to work. This person could have had the shittiest fucking morning ever. And your good morning in a very loving way could be this that just sparks that, like, you know what? It's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be okay this morning. It's a very awesome feeling. I can tell you that I just used to do it just because, like I said, just because it was just like, why not? And you guys always know, if you've seen my post, if you follow me for a while, you know that I'm into buy your own damn flowers. And it was something that I just started to do periodically, would buy my own flowers. And then I would just buy some for work and just take them. I just thought it was, this just cool shit to do. I think we can find ways, and again, it doesn't always have to be about money, getting into that gratitude and living in a way that we inspire others, that we promote positivity, give that girl that comment or that kudos, especially women. I know men have a lot of competition amongst men, but I think men are a little bit less catty than women. Unfortunately, women are a lot more catty, and y'all know, let's be real, women are a lot more fucking catty than anything. And I think we need to get into the habit of giving somebody a compliment without feeling threatened. Okay. You don't have to be threatened by the female sitting next to you. You don't have to feel like you got to compete. You don't got to feel like you can't give this person a comment because you're going to look a certain way. If that girl, if the hair that you want is on her head, let her know. Boo, your hair is banging. What did you do? If she is rocking that outfit that you wish you could have, shit, let her know. I wish I could fucking put that outfit on. There is nothing wrong with giving somebody a compliment, because you don't know what that person is going through inside. Even though that person could be rocking this fucking outfit that you wish you could put on, they could have been walking around thinking that they look ugly or fat in it or whatever the fuck they got going on in their mind. You have no idea what's going on in the psyche. You just giving them that compliment is like everything. Like, oh, thank you so much. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. Instead of you see some like people that like who she thinks she is. Why? Why? You don't got to be like that. You know what? I think the people, cuz I was never a morning person. I was a very grumpy person, especially I needed my coffee, right? I can't stand the morning. But one of the things I always did was good morning. Good morning. I used to work with a doctor that he was not a morning person, and him just coming in, it would be like, "Rrr." And so no matter what, I would be like, "Good morning." And then eventually over years, it would be like, "Good morning." You didn't get like the good morning back, but it was just a thing like, oh, okay, good morning. You can tell some people are just not morning people. And it's like, man, look, I'm gonna need you to bring it down a notch because I ain't had my coffee. Okay. But I will tell you that the good morning still is cheery. It still sets the tone of the energy. It still changes the energy of your work environment when you're bright and bubbly. Even if you have those people that are like, don't talk to me. Because I used to be there with my coffee, like, good morning. You know, One of the things that I've noticed, Lucinda, is you may not like how somebody's dressing, right? You may think it's weird, but they may like it. And that's the thing about our individuality, right? Individuality, individuality. One of the biggest things is I don't got to like how you look. I don't got to like what you got on. But if you generally look nice, why can't I give you a compliment, right? Good morning, Daniel. So I feel like sometimes people go overboard with just because you may not wear what someone wears, or when it's like a really completely different style, right? Because my kids have been weird, okay? Weirder than most. Like they did not dress how other people dressed. They dressed how they wanted to dress. And some people would look at them like, what the fuck your kid has on, right? But I liked that they were weird. I liked that they were separated themselves from everyone else in that way, that they liked stuff that was different from other people. So I think sometimes you just got to be like, okay, um, they're weird, but give them those kudos. Daniel, if you're looking for a reading, information is pinned, and I do the readings at the end of the live. Okay. Right. I've always been weird. I've always been different, but I've always been judged for it. Oh, why do you like that kind of music? That's white people music, or that people music. And, you always get judged of why you dress like that. And I just feel like we have to stop being so judgmental to someone else, and just because we don't particularly like it, we don't have to be negative about it either. We don't have to be like, oh, you what the fuck do you have on? You know what I mean? You don't got to do that. When someone, you could tell that their style is different from yours, if they're still presenting themselves decent, and it's not like, all right, you need to clean yourself up. There's a difference between seeing someone you're like, look, you looking a little rough, versus someone who's their what they look like is a little bit different. You know what I mean? So when we go back to living in gratitude, just remember that everything that you do, every person that you touch in a day is a huge opportunity for you to do something nice for someone. So while you're out and about, and we should be doing this automatically, but you'll be I will tell you, there were moments in my life where I was very stressed the fuck out. And when you're stressed out and when you're going through things, it's very hard to comprehend or think about the good or doing good, because your mind is so focused on whatever you're going through. You're just trying to get through your day. You're just trying to get through the emotions. And so be mindful of whatever is on your plate, the stress, the things that you're going through. Be mindful to kind of understand, like, even though I'm going through this, how awesome would it be if I just take a moment and fucking breathe or smile, you know? And it's very hard. And that's why I say you don't know what your compliment can do for a person, because, even the person that's at checkout and we are like, man, this person don't give two fucks. We have no idea what that person in checkout is going through. We don't know what their morning was, their day was. We don't know what's going on at home. All we know is this person seems like they're having the worst day of their fucking life. Okay. So if you're on the receiving end of it, you have a choice. You can get mad and attack this person like fuck, get a grip on life, or you can throw some positivity their way and maybe change their outlook. And I think sometimes that's the biggest thing especially I will talk about drive-through. I don't really go through drive-through anymore. I just don't eat out like that. But when I used to be like, is everyone in fast food hate their job? Like, does everyone hate their fucking job? Because it don't matter what day, what time I go, everyone who's in this drive-through feels like they can't stand to fucking be at work. And I would just be looking like, so it would just make me feel like the second you pull up, it's like they don't even give you 2 seconds. Can I help you? And it's like, are you ready to order? And it's like, no, give me a minute. And then it's like 2 seconds later, are you ready to order? And it's like, I just am looking at the menu. Like, I don't even know your fucking menu like that. Like, give me a second to order. It'll be like 1 minute later, it's like, you ready to order? And I'm like, look, I'm about to lose my shit if you don't fucking let me look at this menu. Maybe I really don't fucking know what I want in this moment. So that would kind of irritate me. Like, you guys are so worried about your time clock that you're not worried about the satisfaction of the person in the fucking. How about you ask me or give me some options? Like, you know what? I see you're having a hard time. Maybe you want to try this. Maybe someone just is clueless at the fucking drive-through, right? So I used to get pissed off and mad. It would irritate the fuck out of me. Like, why do you have to be in such a bad energy? But I feel like this is where I had my learning curve, because it was just like, okay, I can entertain this with more negativity, or you could say the thank you and thank you and just, hey, I'm ready. Or you could be like, damn, can you fucking give me a minute? There's a couple times that I've gone off on someone, like, give me a minute. Like, I'm definitely not ready. If I was ready, I'd fucking order. So there's been some times where I've gone off on the drive-through employees for like getting on my damn nerves and trying to rush me through. And I'm like, man, can you just hold on? But I think, again, these are people being pressured about time. These are people being pressured about moving the drive through. They're not being taught to be attentive to the customer. It's just more of get the customer through. And I think sometimes we just got to be a little bit mindful. And again, it's all about how we want to react to the situation. So you could react to, man, Sasha, we're not even gonna go there. That's probably the one establishment that I miss from Cali is Baker's Burgers. That was like my first actual job. Like, I had worked summer jobs up until I was about 16. When I was 16, my first job was actually Baker's Burgers, where I actually turned into this like working young adult. Man, I miss the burritos there. They have like the best fucking burritos ever. But anywho, it's crazy, so you have that option to change how you react. Remember, you have the power to every situation. And again, we never know what somebody's going through. So if we can change our perception to, you know what, this person is really rude. I really don't know what this person is going through today. Let me not entertain it. So much we want to combat, right? Because sometimes people catch us in a bad mood too, unfortunately. So that sometimes doesn't end well. But hopefully you guys are taking more of this awareness in and saying, okay, let me kind of take the step back, and am I in a place where I'm not going to entertain it with more negativity? Am I in a place to spread that positivity and that optimism in this particular situation? And if you can do that, then again, you're living in gratitude, because you're staying in the energy of being grateful. And when you're living in gratitude, you're grateful every day that you wake up, despite hardships, despite the ups and downs, because life has ups and downs. Just because you're living in gratitude doesn't mean your life is perfect. It just means that you understand that every day that I wake up is a blessing. And despite what's going on, I'm blessed. And so you want to make sure that you're sharing the blessings, whether whether it's encouragement, whether it's through just chatting, whether it's through the inspiration, whether it's paying it forward, when you can. Some people think just donating to charity is that's their end. Well, I'm just gonna donate to charity and that's it. Donating to charity is great, but if you only do it with the intention of getting the tax write off, your intentions are shitty as fuck. Let me tell you, intentions are everything, and that's why we can't hide from spirit. We can hide, and we can kind of hide and lie to everyone else, right? But you can't lie and hide from spirit. So just remember your intentions, be pure about what you're doing. Don't be the people who are fucking recording everything that they do. It's just so irritating when I watch that. And I'm just like, I know people need content and you want content, but when you are someone who's at their lowest point in life, just think about the other person on the receiving end, where you have a camera in your face when you're in the lowest part of your life while someone is making a point of helping, right? And that's hard, to be homeless. And if you've never been homeless, let me tell you, it's a low part of your life. I've been homeless a couple times in my life. And it was due to me allowing myself to become homeless in every sense of the way. It didn't matter who did what, when, or where, or how I got there. The point was is that I allowed myself to get there. And when you're homeless, you are at a very low point in your life. And someone putting this camera in your face to show their good deeds is not only demeaning, but you're already in that state. You know what I mean? You're already in a state of you feel like shit and you're at your low. And so it's just extra demeaning with this person with their camera in your fucking face recording it as well. So those of you who are maybe not aware of that or didn't think about that, I hope this hits you and touches you in a certain way where you rethink that. If you want to do something, do it. You don't have to blast it out. You don't have to advertise your good deeds. Your good deeds are for you and your maker. Okay. There is a thing called like a gratitude journal if you really need to record it, because some people like to record it. I know at the end of the year, my spiritual kind of information is always telling me to look back on my good deeds. But honestly, I don't keep track of my good deeds. I just don't feel like I have to. I feel like, spirit knows. I don't have to keep track of that shit. Exactly, exactly. Very low point in your life when you're homeless, and especially when you have children with you, it's already a low point. So keep your cameras out of people's faces. I don't think that I think if you need to show it, your pride is in the way. If you need to boast about your good deeds, you're doing it all for ego. You're doing it all for likes. You're not doing it with the intention to live in gratitude. Because living in gratitude, you just do it. You're not doing it for the attention, the likes, or the kudos. Hey, Facebook user, it says hello. I have no idea who you are. So that's the biggest thing when we talk about living in gratitude. Just remember that it's out of the kindness of your heart. It's taking that moment to keep the door open, hold the elevator door open. It's taking that moment to throw your fucking trash in the trash and not out the window of your car. Yes. Okay. It's taking that moment to think about our choices in the grander scale. When we're living in gratitude, we are very gracious of the life and world that we're living in. And so we're taking it upon ourselves to be more mindful. We're not, being wasteful. We're not doing wasteful shit. So Some of it has to come to a point of just your awareness of life. And so many people don't have that. They don't live in gratitude. They're not appreciative of the life that they have or the world that we live in, right? We see it all the time. So I would say be more mindful. If you want to truly live a life of gratitude, if you know, when you're living in gratitude, you are more blessed. I will tell you. If anyone on here can drop a comment and tell you, when you live a life of just being more gratitude and gracious and giving, in many ways, not just money, you will see that your life is more rewarding, hands down. You get a lot more in return because you're giving and you're doing more. You're conscious, you're making these conscious decisions. You are thinking more about your environment and the people around you. You're thinking about your community, not just yourself. And when you're out there in your community, you're doing things to brighten people's day. And no one's telling you to do it, you're just doing it, right? Um, I think that is the biggest thing when we're looking at this, and that is going to change your life. And the more you choose to be happy, hey, Divergent, good morning. The more you choose to be in this happy, positive state, is the more that your life turns into a happy, positive life. Okay. Choose that positivity, choose that mindfulness, choose to live in sharing the blessings. Sometimes the sharing the blessing is just sharing the happiness, sharing the joy, sharing the inspiration, sharing your story. How many of you guys got a story you don't think is worth telling? But I beg to differ. And if you ever want to tell your story, let me know. We can get it on the morning show. I think that a lot of you have these beautiful insight and stories that you always can give to someone else, that you always can help someone else, but it's just about you doing it. It's about you understanding that and seeing that you do have something of worth. We all have something of worth. Money is not everything. Money, yes, helps. Money can help, but that's not everything that we can give. We can give time, we can give courage, we can give positivity, we can give kudos, we can give not cooties, we can give kudos, right? We can give love, we can give compassion. And I think compassion is one of the biggest things when we're talking about people who irritate us and get on our nerves. Compassion is a big one, because in that moment you can choose to be compassionate and loving, or you can choose to be in the fuckery, right? Hopefully you choose compassion. Hopefully you choose compassion, okay? So that's what I kind of had. Oh yeah. And I do believe so. Me personally, I do believe so. I feel like I feel like a lot of people get stuck on the money, and they feel like that's the only way to give when we're talking about living in gratitude. But there's so many more ways to give, you guys, than just money. It's not all about money. There's so many ways to actually live in there and be a kind person. That's living in gratitude. Just being a kind person is living in gratitude. um just being happy and sharing that, like I said, the good mornings is living in that gratitude, because you're sharing your happiness, you're sharing the joy, you're changing the energy around you when you choose to do that. Let me tell you, even at the place, if you are a shitty tipper, let's go there. If you are a shitty tipper, I think you need to rethink your choices. Okay. Now, if the person has done a shitty job, all right, don't tip them, right? But let me tell you, everyone who works in the service industry, their job depends on the tips. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't like look, okay, well, if you know your job depends on tips, you should be in here like on it. But let me tell you, don't always tip cheap. Like if you go somewhere where it's service, you're getting served, do tip. I mean, personally, I don't tip anything under 15%. That's just me. So, and I'm not going to tell you how to tip, but if you're tipping shitty, if you're tipping $2 when you know the meal was like fucking 50, $60, probably need to rethink how you're tipping. Because, just think about it. I know everyone in the service industry is not A1 on point all the time. And I know sometimes it's like, But again, you know, people in the service industry, they live off those tips, and a lot of them have shitty times, shitty days. A lot of them don't have health care. A lot of them are, living from, day to day, because a lot of the service industry is the day to day making money. So just remember, I feel like tipping is a big thing. I feel like if you're being stingy with your tips just because there's no, like, I could see if you're really broken, like, look, I only got a couple dollars and I'm trying to eat here, so I only got a couple dollars. Maybe think about that and include your tip in what you're ordering. Like when you're ordering, you're like, man, well, I only got $20 to spend. Maybe let me make sure my meal is 10, or 15, so that way I have that 5. Be mindful, because again, you're looking out for someone other than just yourself. And when you do that, I know it sounds like, man, when you do that, you're living in a place of gratitude. You're living out of a place of gratitude. And in that, in return, when you're always looking and thinking of others, let me tell you, your life will change. Okay. You don't got to believe me. Just try it. Try it for like a week or two. Shit, try it for 30 days. I challenge you. Try it for 30 days and see, how does that look? How is that? Okay. But that's what I got for you guys this morning. Just kind of talking about gratitude and living in it, and things that we can do to change how we vibe, changing the energy around us, changing how we deal with others, our mindfulness in the world. And please don't stick cameras in homeless people's faces just to make you look good on your timeline. I know it's not the people who follow me, but if you see people doing that and they're your friends, call them out on it. Yes, I said call them out on it. I think it's the most shittiest way to kind of, people to show that they're also nice and giving. And I just feel like we should call more people out on their bullshit and tell them like, no, you don't need to promote your fucking charity. Maybe not put your fucking camera in this person's face. Maybe they didn't want to be on fucking camera while you're trying to show that you're a nice person, right?